All right, you guys, we are back. It's your boy Q, and up next we have Mr.hotspot responds to Drake and Lil Yachty disrespecting him after refusing to clear their song. Shout out to Chick Smooth for video. If you guys haven't heard yet, basically Drake and Lil Yachty sampled their Mr.hotspot record. Because he owns the publishing, he basically controls the rights to the records and can dictate who gets to sample the music and who does not. His reasoning for refusing to not clear their record is because of basically the content. So yeah, enough dilly-dallying. We're gonna jump right into the video. Again, it's entitled Mr.hotspot responds to Drake and Lil Yachty disrespecting him after refusing to clear their song.
What's more important, respecting someone's boundaries or making sure the best songs are released, no matter how that comes to be? That's apparently the topic
Yeah, obviously there's no ethics when it comes to a lot of these moves and stuff like that.
of discussion, as the Lil Yachty song featuring Drake that was purposefully leaked on Kai Cenat's live stream that sampled a song by Mr.hotspot wasn't able to be released because Mr.hotspot wanted a clean version for the song. And on his podcast, Joe Budden would disagree with Mr.hotspot. What's up, y'all?
That's crazy because I'm pretty sure he had a lawsuit around something similar for performing a record that basically they didn't have the clearance. And when the lawsuit becomes profitable, you have tons of attorneys that will go in there and sue the pants off you. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I feel like out of all people, Joe would know. Joe has signed a lot of bad contracts, witnessed a lot of bad business, and he's still here to this day. So you feel like he'd be a little more like, you think he'd be a little more diplomatic when it comes to these things?
It's your man Talker's World reporting for the Chick Smooth channel. We got to talk about this. So at first, the song was not originally properly released and cleared because they didn't have a clean version of it. So instead of just making a new version of the song, Lil Yachty...
That would have been so easy to do. Basically go in the studio and punch in a few words here and there.
chose to circumvent the boundaries of Mr.hotspot by having Kai Cenat let everybody listen to it. Which means they get to perform it and benefit off the song without Mr.hotspot. Even though, to be fair, we could argue this publicity is worth more.
But keep playing around. They will serve you at the concert for doing that. Like, because at the end of the day, they can literally make a case that you are profiting off that record. People are going to the shows to see this record being played. So they're going to get their money regardless. And now, because the song has already been put out, they kind of lose all the leverage. No matter how big these two artists are, you have no leg to stand on in court because at the end of the day, Mr.hotspot owns the record. He owns the publishing. He dictates where it goes to. Now that you guys gave that up, even if he gave it to you, he can literally take 100%. And dude, and any judge would grant him that.
Than anything he would have made from that song, unless it turned into a major hit. But anyways, here's Mr.hotspot himself on a TikTok live explaining his simple terms to clear the record.
This is the best marketing for it, though.
And we sent it in to them. So hopefully they re-record the clean reference and we come out with the clean goodness gracious all together.
Goodness gracious.
So
yeah, man, this dude sounds like the nicest dude, fam. You can't do this guy wrong. And I'm pretty sure some of the Yachty, like some of the reasoning for Yachty has to have been like the public outcry that would go over to his page, like demanding that the song be dropped and stuff like that.
It's a process, but it'll be good for both of their brands like that. And I'm blessed to work with children, so we just got to make it clean for them.
Children.
Like, we don't need no children getting whooped.
Yeah, dude, he seems like an innocent dude. Seems like a simple man. But yeah, dude, it seems like a nice guy. Like, I'm happy he's sticking in his convictions. He's really standing by his principles, and he's not being swayed by the fact that I'm pretty sure they could just throw him the biggest bag to clear whatever they wanted to put out. And Yachty does seem like the type where he's kind of like, he thinks himself very, very highly as an artist and his creative vision. And maybe he's just like, no one's going to tell me how to make my record. So I could see that being the case as to why he doesn't want to do it. But it'd be nothing for those two to go in there and punch these like few words in there and change it so you can get this shit cleared easily, you know? I'm happy the dude isn't buckling to like the pressure.
Because they said this or that. You understand? And if you look at the backside, it's the children who really running these views up. So if we make sure both verses clean, everybody coming clean, everybody gonna benefit for sure. It's a process, but
of course, it's the music business, and honestly, the people that if you own the rights, you're very favored in any of these court proceedings, dude. You're gonna literally get anything you ask for.
Appreciate you being patient. We sent that in. They got it today. And them boys about to turn up. Like, we ain't trying to hold them back.
It's like the nicest turn up if
we just
they turn
need
up.
The morals correct. That's all.
Not wanting the kids to get whooped for singing your song word for word is a very logical reason.
Of course, at the end of the day, if he's working with these kids, dude, they probably look up to him as like some sort of hero, you know? So like to think that they wouldn't take this record and be so proud of it, memorize the whole thing, and they're going to be bumping it over and over and over again. It's dope that he's sticking to his convictions. A lot of people would have been swayed by the money that this would have offered. But honestly, he's going to get money regardless because it's his sample. So it's really what he's willing to negotiate at this point. Like, yeah, it is Drake and it is Lil Yachty. These are premier acts. But at the end of the day, the law is the law. And yeah, Mr. Hotspot is protected 100%.
Not to clear a record. If you work with kids, they're going to be proud that your song was sampled by Drake. So they're going to sing that song over and over again. Yeah. It makes perfect sense that he wouldn't want them to be continuously singing terrible things. Especially because the people involved are master writers.
Very terrible things. And of course, they're able to go in there and rewrite this easily.
They could choose any words they want. He's basically just telling them to do better. But Joe Budden on the Joe Budden...
not do better, bro. But at least clean it up. You know what I mean? Of course.
Podcast would ultimately disagree.
And now, that's what it is. The fuck you is explaining it.
Exactly.
The fuck you is publicly saying, yo, no, this is what happened.
Yep. Exactly.
I'm a musician at heart. So.
Exactly. This is why he should understand, like, this whole situation.
You know what side of this I'm on. Yeah, I'm leaking at him. Good for you. You're a Christian now. No more dope games. Awesome. This is heat, and I need my fans to hear this.
You see, yeah, it's coming from a very selfish place, obviously. This is heat, and I have to put it out. But, bro, you've been through this before. You're just going to have to pay now. And now it means paying more than what you probably would have had to pay out originally.
Right this second, I won't sell it, but I need it to be heard. Now, on the flip side of that,
you could tour off this.
Slaughterhouse got sued for Juggernauts, which was on the mixtape.
Yeah.
And our argument was we not selling it.
Come
and
on,
their argument was we don't give a
Yep.
It's
exactly. Fam, you don't want to mess around with people's IP, especially if you're going to profit from it heavily, man. You'll have attorneys that will pick up these cases in a heartbeat because of how profitable that judgment is going to be. So come on, like, bro, this is the perfect example. Like, you should know better, fam. Honestly, a lot of people do get away with, like, performing these records with, like, honestly, with no trouble. These people are so big that, dude, it's going to go viral. And, like, the last thing you want is now to get sued. And they're going to take a way bigger chunk than you would have had to pay if you would have just did everything the right way. Yeah, so just be smart when you're going to do these things. Like, I know Yachty is basically doing this to maybe put the pressure on the guy.
It's helping something over there.
Yeah.
Of course.
Everything's generating money
and we had to pay.
Somewhere along the lines. Do you think they
Marks, thank you.
If Christian dude lawyers is up or paper is up,
my thing with this
I think he has something there. Damn, I'm ratting again.
Course.
So yes, here he's on.
Of course, he should know better. I mean, he could just be giving bad advice because he wants to see Drake fail. Obviously, like, he's shown him love, but he's also, like, he's definitely criticized him when, like, he felt like he deserved the criticism. So who knows? Or maybe he's just mad that, like, Drake is smashing his chicks too. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if, like, Mr. Hotspot does go that route. But it does seem like he's definitely open to having this come out. They just got to come to an understanding. Obviously, he's laid out his terms. He wants a clean version. And I'm pretty sure he's going to take a big cut as well, especially now that the song has been put out and it's generated like a pretty decent reception.
On the side of putting out the records. In this case, it happens to be Drake, but it seems to be a principled position on the side of making sure the people get the slaps, because he will be asked to explain the benefits of putting out a record, even if you don't have the clearance, using Drake on the other side of it.
This happens all the time, man. Like, Juice WRLD did it, Diddy did it. Diddy at his peak, the I'll Be Missing You sample, he sampled Sting. And Sting is notorious because he did the same thing to Juice WRLD. I think it happened to Juice WRLD like twice. Put these records out because you're not getting the clearance and you're like, F it. Even though I felt like Diddy would have had the resources to be able to try to pull it off. But sometimes you just don't get clearance. So you put it out, and like I said earlier, you lose all leverage. So normally when it gets put out and it is that big, like, fam, when it is that big, obviously the people that created the sample, they're not going to just let it walk out the door. They're just going to take 100%. And all the money that's generated from that record goes to them. Dude, it's the part of the game. If you're going to play these type of games, just know dude, people are very litigious. There's a lot of money to be made from like slapping lawsuits for things like this.
Saying, if I have a Drake record and he don't want to clear it, I'm putting it out anyways. Because the people deserve to know that you can create the slaps. Take a listen.
Yeah, do if it came out right.
Comfortable with
However, people that still ain't even heard that record.
It doesn't matter
because they live on DSPs.
There's somebody out there who Benny's cachet changed because of that record, whether it was released properly or not.
More than anything.
If I have a Drake feature right this second and he don't approve it, nigga.
T-Pain had the same sentiments. He was like, even if I can't get the clearance, I'm gonna sample it, and he's just gonna tour off of it. He's just gonna have to give 100% of those royalties from that record to whoever owns the sample, but the dude can like tour forever off this record if it goes right. So I can see why some artists would say like, F it, and I'm just gonna put it out anyway. But just understand that you're not gonna get any streaming revenue from that record. If you do put out a record that you didn't clear, yeah, you could tour off of it, but they're gonna own 100% of the publishing of that record. Even the record with Peter Guns, like fam, if you look at like the liner notes, it has Steely Dan as the 100% writers. It's, if you listen, they're like a rock band. You would never think they would have made that record, but because they were sampled and didn't clear, they own the whole record. So yeah, you just gotta be smart, man. It's the music business, and it is unkind to those that abuse it.
This is hitting the streets. People have to know that I have this heat and the capability of making a record sound like that, and that's what happened with Peter Guns and Lord Tariq and them. They made the record, offered a sample, it blew up. The masses need to know I can do this. Now let's call and try to do it the right way. The right way is like, oh, Papa, I need 100%.
Because again, you drop the record, you lose all leverage. If they were able to clear it before and maybe go through those proper channels, because a lot of these people weren't educated in the music business. Dude, they took advantage, and they still take advantage of so many people that are just ignorant to the law. Whether it's like not having a qualified attorney, like fam, it's the music business, get a music or entertainment lawyer, handle it. Don't get your cousin that does like divorce proceedings and stuff like that. Law is very, very specific, and you want somebody to be an expert, because like contract legalese, like contract speak, it can confuse even the most seasoned of like lawyers. So definitely have somebody that specializes in what you're trying to aim for.
That's the right way.
Hold up. The label is saying we're not signing you if you don't have the rights to this record. Yeah. And Peter Guns and them say, hey, you got 100% of it, buddy.
Mr. Hotspot displayed a spine.
You're betting on yourself, hoping that you can
didn't know
that.
Who he was before, that had to have earned your respect no matter what. But do you disagree with him? Would you have stopped the Drake record from coming out? Or any big artist? It doesn't have to be Drake. Where do you stand on this issue? Let me know in the comment section.
Yeah, man. At the end of the day, who are we to tell an artist or somebody who owns like the publishing? Because sometimes it's not the artist. Honestly, a lot of times the artist only owns like a percentage of the publishing. But who are we to say how they should manage their publishing, their splits and stuff like that? We really have no say over that. It's the law. They're protected 100%. And it seems like Mr. Hotspot, honestly, is just looking for them to create like a clean version. The dude is a Christian, and it is pretty dope that he's like sticking by his morals and his convictions, even when facing like a backlash for not clearing a record. Yeah, I think a clean version is going to come out, because at the end of the day, they can put out a clean version on DSPs, and then when you go to a show, they're just going to play like the expletive version. So honestly, for me, a valid theory on what's probably going to happen even if they do put out like the clean version. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that like Mr. Hotspot was in the right? Obviously, legally speaking, he is, but what do you think? Do you think he should have just cleared it because it is Drake? Me, like I said plenty of times in this video, I do think it's dope, because he's not getting bullied to appease them, and just give him the song as is. He seems like he's laid out his terms on what it would take to like release the song. So it's honestly up to them if they're gonna do a clean version. I do feel like this is great marketing for the record. A bunch of people are going to be talking about this. Obviously, Kai put it out. They did face a lot of backlash, so maybe that's why Yachty took the blame for having Kai actually play it and preview it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button, guys. It does your channel wonders. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're like fastly approaching like 2K, and honestly, it's really, really dope. So thankful for all the love that the channel receives. Like, Fam, it's freaking amazing. I hope you guys love the video, and I hope to see you guys soon.